We often hear the media say things like, Tesla is losing market share. And by 2026, Ford and GM will have taken a massive amount of Tesla's market share in the US. In other countries, it will be Volkswagen. In other places, Toyota. We hear that a lot. However, I think it's interesting to hear from Automotive News. Automotive News, they don't have ads plastered all over their website from automakers telling you, hey, buy a new Ford, you'll love it. Buy a new Toyota, it'll be wonderful. They seem to be a bit more objective, which is really good. So let's have a look at what Automotive News are saying about what is happening with Tesla and BYD and whether or not this whole erosion of market share is a real accurate and fair picture. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking. Great to see you. My name's Sam Evans. Just want to say welcome to all the new subscribers. Welcome back, everyone else. So Automotive News said this: Tesla and BYD have posted record sales on a surge in electric car demand. These sales results will likely widen the two automakers' lead as the world's top electric car makers. It's odd, isn't it? Isn't it weird that this year Volkswagen Group EV sales have barely moved the needle in comparison to last year? Nothing. Just crickets. Just crickets. Silence and peace from the media. There's tell me if you can find any reporting on this. I can't find anything. Nothing. And I look at, this is my job. Nothing. Now imagine if BYD or Tesla had done the same thing. Oh my goodness. It would be the world is coming to an end. Tesla and BYD sales they're flat. Clearly demand has dried up. These companies are in trouble now. The EV boom is over. EV players from legacy auto are coming in to crush them. These are some of the kinds of headlines you can imagine would be printed. But the fact that Toyota's EV sales are doing nothing this year, Toyota has discounted their EVs more than any other car maker on the entire planet in China this year on their EVs because no one's buying them. Nothing's being said. So, objectively speaking, Tesla and BYD set sales records in the second quarter, widening their lead as the world's top electric car manufacturers. If you're not new to the channel, you've probably seen my video talking about who I believe the biggest automakers in the world would be by 2030. I said they'd be Tesla and BYD in that video. I'm sticking by that. I still think that's happening. Just because the media aren't talking about what's happening here, except for Automotive News, doesn't mean it isn't happening. Elon Musk-led Tesla delivered 466,140 cars worldwide, and that beat Wall Street estimates. And BYD, China's top-selling electric car brand, or car brand, in fact, period. Isn't that amazing? I mean, BYD would not in their wildest dreams have thought that would have happened a few years ago, and all of a sudden they've gone from just a minnow to this massive power in China. They posted their best ever quarter, selling 700,000 fully electric and plug-in hybrid vehicles. But the thing is, results from in the month of June, BYD delivered 256,000 cars, I think it was. So that run rate puts them at a delivery figure more than likely of around 3.5 million by the end of this year, already making them one of the, 6 or 7 biggest automakers in the world. Tesla stock rose more than 6% in pre-market US trading, while BYD's jumped as much as 5% in Hong Kong. Shares of EV battery suppliers Contemporary Amperex Technology Company, which is CATL, and LG Energy Solutions, which is LG Chem, also increased, surprisingly to me. I'm not really sure what LG Chem has anything to do with this, or not much anyway. Anyhow, Tesla has vowed to push for more volume, even at the expense of profitability. They want market share. They want to crush the competition. Tesla's not saying this, but that's pretty clear what they're doing. This is putting more pressure on legacy automakers that haven't kept pace on EVs and that have a much higher cost to manufacture their EVs, meaning they're ceding overall market share. Volkswagen AG last week announced new leadership for its Audi brand, which fell behind Tesla in the first quarter. In China, for example, the second largest discounts percentage-wise of any electric car in China is the Audi e-tron. The Audi e-tron is the second. Toyota bZ4 was number 1. The Audi e-tron was number 2. Now, there were no Chinese EVs that were discounted as heavily as those two models. Analysts surveyed by Bloomberg had expected Tesla to deliver around 445,000 cars in the last 3 months. Obviously, that was a significant beat by Tesla. Some of the so-called Tesla experts getting around, they said that Tesla would deliver around 445,000 because they know they've got all this amazing data that no one else has access to. I'm not convinced that's true. It's a big beat, Ben Callow, a Robert W. Baird analyst, said. People were still bracing for another round of price cuts, and this big delivery number makes that less of a risk. The deliveries are the most ever in a quarter for Austin-based Tesla and were up 83% from a year ago. When lockdowns hampered its operations in China, the company produced 13,600 more vehicles than it delivered in the quarter, after output exceeded sales by almost 18,000 cars in the first quarter. We've seen these comments from these Tesla experts saying Tesla's inventory levels are rising massively. That's not actually true. Their inventory went down. They produced 18,000 in excess of deliveries in the first quarter. The second quarter, it was 13,500. So just be careful who you listen to and just consider, where are they getting this data from? Is it magic? If that data is not publicly available, you've got to question the veracity behind it. That's what I think. Now, everything I talk about on this channel, you can publicly find this data available. I pretty much always talk about where I find this data. Right now, I'm obviously referencing Automotive News. You can find a lot of data on Automotive News, which is quite a dependable website. Everyone was worried about inventory build, and it looks like they've normalized, said Callow. The delta between production and deliveries is shrinking, which is what Tesla said they would do. Tesla's perks. In addition to decreasing prices across its lineup, Tesla has offered perks such as 3 months of free fast charging in the United States, which I don't personally consider to be a very big incentive, but maybe some do, and insurance-related subsidies in China. Some analysts have predicted price cuts will continue into next year. In fact, many analysts are saying that Tesla is screwed the rest of the year because they don't have any new models, which is obviously wrong. The Model 3 Highland is about to come out. I think it looks like there's been some huge changes, new battery packs, big changes to the exterior, minimal changes to the interior, hardware 4. It's actually a much better car than the current model. So I would say there's going to be some increased demand for that car. The Model 3 and Model Y accounted for 96% of sales last quarter. Tesla also makes the Model S and the X, and Tesla is the top EV maker in the US, but it's facing stiff competition around the world from companies with fresher lineups. Its newest vehicle, the Model Y, debuted in 2020. The thing to keep in mind, though, is that obviously Tesla vehicles now do qualify for the tax incentive, $7,500 they didn't last year. This will continue to help Tesla demand, I think, in the US. The company has fallen well behind BYD in China, though, its number 2 market after the US. Right after the quarter came to a close, Tesla cut its prices of its premium models in China by more than 4.5%. Not really a story worth even talking about when they only represent 4% of the company's sales, in my opinion. Tesla reports second quarter earnings on the 19th of July, and we'll find out what their profitability or lack of profitability is during that period of time. Keep in mind, though, Tesla does make a lot of money on regulatory credits. Most companies don't. Most companies, their EV sales are still a small fraction of their sales, so they don't make any money when it comes to EV credits, which Tesla's still getting billions of dollars yearly from those credits, so that will help with profitability. BYD's records. BYD gained ground on Tesla in fully electric vehicle sales, almost doubling deliveries from a year ago to 352,163. The company's total sales soared 98% from a year ago, and they sold a record 251,685 new energy vehicles in June. Around about 51% of those were fully electric and about 49% were plug-in hybrids. I think it's fair to say BYD and Tesla, they are widening their lead. Now, whether or not they lose market share or not, I don't really see how that's even all that relevant. I mean, if they continue to widen their lead, what happens? They become the new Toyota and the new Volkswagen, fighting it out between themselves for global supremacy. Now, I know that's an early comment to make. We're still years away from that happening. But disruption actually often happens quicker than people think. And that's what's happening right now. The greatest disruption in the automotive industry in the history of the planet. Thank you for watching.